Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Senator Marissa Francis Thomas, who is a former banker, explains whether she would sign off on a loan for $270 million to the government of St. Lucia in order to fund the Uinora International Airport redevelopment project.
Independent Senator Marissa Thomas Francis has given a hypothetical assessment of the process that the government of St. Lucia would have to go through in order to be granted a loan for $270 million for the completion of the Uinora International Airport redevelopment project. Thomas Francis, a career banker herself, said for the most part, the government is on good ground to be granted the loan.
As a seasoned banker, I do know that there are significant considerations for any lending, whether you're talking about to the personal sector, to sovereign, as we're discussing, or to the corporate sector. There are considerations. Ability to repay first and foremost. So I'd like to think that government has done that analysis, and we've heard that the taxes that have been collected on the airport will be sufficient to service that loan. The other consideration, of course, is reputation or credit worthiness of the entity which is borrowing, and government has never defaulted in the past, so we would like to think that we will not have that kind of situation.
On the other hand, the senator said the government is not in the clear as yet because there is still one major concern which would determine whether the loan is granted or denied.
One of the other key considerations is insurance, meaning security. Any bank which loans money wants to know if you default, what are they falling back on? I would need to understand what exactly is the assurance, insurance, or security that we've given to the bank in the event that we default. That is why I asked the question, and I will ask the question rather, as it relates to the buffer or the cushion in the event that we are not able to generate sufficient revenue from the airport to cover the loan.
The HIA redevelopment loan has been a controversial talking point with concerns about increasing the island's debt burden. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
'Tis the season to consume meat, but what happens when the Ministry of Health is accused of not playing its part in ensuring that livestock farmers can slaughter their animals for the market? One meat vendor is calling on authorities to address the problem. Nisha Charles reports.
The festive season provides the perfect opportunity for new seasonal and regular butchers to cash in on the high demand for local meats. It is also the time when the Ministries of Health and Agriculture increase the monitoring and surveillance of butchery practices to ensure conformity to public health guidelines and procedures. The Environmental Health Department reported that it would be beefing up the inspection of butchers for proper meat handling. Another critical area of the process is inspecting the animal before it is slaughtered. One meat vendor is lamenting, however, that the authorities have not been keeping their end of the bargain, and this is a cause for concern.
We spent a whole day yesterday waiting for the people to come and tag, and they didn't come and tag. And there is a problem with that. If they don't tag the animal, we cannot kill it. And the people saying that if the animal don't tag, they have to stamp it. You cannot sell if you don't have a stamp in it. There's a problem in that. So we want the authority to make a big issue with that. Come and see us and talk to us. We're not seeing nobody.
The Environmental Health Department says that a number of steps need to be followed before slaughtering can actually take place. For starters, butchers and their helpers need to have a health certificate to be able to handle and to vend meat to the public. Then they need to go to the police to get a butcher's license or permission to slaughter. Once that document is obtained, the animal for slaughter has to receive an ante-mortem inspection at least 24 hours prior. Mangal is asking the authorities to play their part in ensuring that everyone earns an honest dollar for the season.
Especially in the Christmas season, they should have a system in place. We have an animal, come and tag it for us, for us to slaughter it. Because everybody wants to make money. They give in all lab, $1 million, and we have a little thousand, we can make it.
Securing public health is central to the ante-mortem inspection, which can pick up diseases in animals that may not be seen in a post-mortem inspection. An ante-mortem inspection declares the animal fit or unfit for slaughter. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The St. Lucia Fire Service is imploring bus drivers to equip themselves with fire extinguishers. The message is intended to protect the safety and well-being of drivers and passengers alike. Solange Alfred reports.
The possibility of a fiery disaster can occur anytime and anywhere. The first few minutes when a fire ignites and the initial response are crucial in ensuring that the blaze is subdued to keep it from causing maximum damage. St. Lucia Fire Service Officer and EMS Manager of the Northern Division, Fernando James, explained that vehicles should be equipped with a fire extinguisher, inclusive of minibuses.
Fire extinguishers are a very important device as a safety measure in case of any fire. So whether it be for your home, for your car, during a mass crowd event, wherever it's needed, one should be made available for use. For motor vehicle owners, whether it be car, truck, minibus, you should have a carbon dioxide fire extinguisher.
James explained that vehicular fires can happen as a result of electrical problems and a host of other reasons. He went on to reveal that a large percentage of minibus drivers on island currently do not carry fire extinguishers on board their vehicles.
With the many, I would say hundreds of minibuses that we have on island, you'll be surprised that most of them do not have a fire extinguisher, but it is mandatory that the company or even the individual who owns the minibus should have a fire extinguisher, because in the event of a fire, the fire department will not be there within record time of seconds. It will be the driver or the owners of the driver to have an extinguisher to extinguish that fire as quickly as possible. Sometimes the fire might result in an explosion. So apart from the evacuation of patrons from that minibus, whilst the vehicle is on fire, it would be on the owners of the driver. He is the pilot of that vehicle to extinguish that fire. So again, just having a fire extinguisher will save lives and save property.
The St. Lucia Fire Service remains dedicated to service commitment and devotion and reminds the citizens of St. Lucia that safety is everyone's business. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. The Labour Party's point person on education, Senator Gideon Ferdinand, is questioning the education minister's commitment to the development of the sector. He says while he notes her pronouncements on the development of smart schools, he does not understand how a government that wants to pursue such a policy also got rid of the laptop program.
If the minister mentions smart schools, it's not just talking about putting Wi-Fi in schools. We had that program going quite a long time ago with Dr. Fletcher. And it included schools and other community facilities. So if you have that in your mind as far as your development programs are concerned, why is it that there is no infrastructure in place for that? And the laptop program is a good example. How are you going to develop smart schools? You're going to have students doing work independently when they have no tools, no gadgets. It doesn't make sense to me.
There has been much talk about the level of investment in the education sector following unrest at some schools due to poor working conditions and deteriorating infrastructure. The senator says overall he's perplexed by the Education Ministry's approach to the sector.
We know of Sir Arthur Lewis, Babonneau Secondary, Miku Secondary, and several other schools that have been basically abandoned. When I say abandoned, I mean certain sections and with lots of problems with the structures. Other than the repairs, in terms of policy and programs for education, programs for our own academic development of our academics and our technical subject areas, the curriculum, I haven't heard one policy.
The SLP spokesperson is continuing to clamor for timely information relating to the development of the sector, including matters such as proposed school mergers and possible school relocations. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. More news after the break.